Jorge Pranas came around churches with very, like a simple word. He was establishing churches. Do you know, one of the simplest things he said to a fellowship of believers meeting to practice the gifts in the Holy Spirit in Emsworth was just this sentence: are you a fellowship or are you a church? And they weren't a church at that point because they were literally believers drawn from different churches in the town, but they got baptized in the Spirit. But that was his sentence. And that was the establishing, that was day one really, of the Emsworth Church. And that's what you have to speak apostolically to Americans. Are you a fellowship? Or are you ecclesia? Are you the church of the living God? And we have to speak that, with much more clarity than Jorge's generation. Even Ed Miller, he triggered the Argentine revival. They just weren't defined about pastorship. Oh, well, it's clear, isn't it? A pastor has sheep, and he's in charge. Well, no, it isn't clear. It isn't clear in the Bible at all. It isn't clear that there are pastors, but there are prophets. There are evangelists. There are helpers, mercy ministries. It doesn't say anything about them leading a church. Pastors help new sheep, bed them down and get them going in the Psalm 123 lifestyle. But they're not this elongated thing that we make them out to. It's just not like that. It's not like that in the Bible. We are not of anybody. I know it feels like the floor drops out from underneath us with that concept, and it would me too, except having been chucked out of the charismatic bubble world, I realise that really is true, and especially true on the internet. And obviously, we're not meeting with one another properly, face to face, but nevertheless, there's a spirit in which we have been gathering that it's like Jesus had to do it this way, because we weren't listening. Every time we got together, a Matthew-type figure would say, well, I'm in charge, just other Matthews, get out of the way, I'm the best Matthew here, and I'll call myself pastor. That's how it is, isn't it? That's how it's been. It's flesh. It's flesh. Church is ecclesia. Study what ecclesia was used for. It's a peer thing. It's not. There is no one person in charge of ecclesia. So it just doesn't happen. So here's the thing. It's a simple calculation. If I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. Are all men being drawn unto you as a ecclesia, local hub, in your place? No. It's true, isn't it? No. Because what they see is a person pulling strings. If you were to lift Jesus up as head, and if it's mean a jolly sight more than Quakers, just waiting to be moved by something when they're not born again or baptized in the Spirit, it's got to mean a lot more than that. But if we fall into the ground and die, we no longer dwell alone. If you lose family, friends, other people for the sake of the Lord, for the sake of the kingdom, in this lifetime, we gain 100 back. We gain 100-fold back. And that's the form of this Holy Spirit entity called ecclesia. It's not something you go to like a club run by one person. It's a spiritual thing, designed, created, sustained, spoken into being prophetically and supernaturally by apostolic gifting, which has itself come over the coals of the holy place, holiest places, same with prophets. So it's founded on the word of apostles and prophets, and they have no power or control over that word. It is given to them sovereignly by the Lord. They come in as sent ones, and they bring the word, and a church is established in a place. But where we've got it all wrong, is we carry on from there. Much the same as in our Christian life, actually. We get the first two stages of Christian growth, which is redemption through the cross of Jesus, then be baptized in the Spirit, and then we carry on from there. Or evangelicals carry on with, well, just try your best, dear. Just try your best. So they come to the Lord fine, but it's the rest. They haven't got the rest of the package. It's a definite Abraham, Isaac, Jacob package, but now accelerated by the Spirit in the church, in the local church. So each local church is to be like Acts Church, but it won't be if we don't go into the ground, because no one finds each other, and no one learns to read, as 1 Corinthians 12:14-26 says, the other frequencies. It's true, isn't it? So to keep everything together, we have this carnal system where one puppet master pulls the strings. We do the same with how we run the whole of life. We have our organisations all run by puppet masters. Everything we do is puppet masters. It's pyramid. Because we haven't yet broken out of the angelic hierarchy system, and we can't do that until our heart is pure. When our heart is pure, we can see God. We can see light. We can see the Lord, who is the light of the temple. That's the point of the holy place, which the evangelicals are flunking out on. It's why we've given a candlestick and table of showbread. The evangelicals like the table of showbread, but they don't like the candlestick. And some of the charismatics don't like the table of showbread. Think it's boring. But that's what we're given so that we can perceive in our insides. We can then go into the holiest place, which is where the Lord dwells. This is the place of the Lord, where we can see what he's saying and doing. That's the point of the training area, the middling section. And that's why Tabernacles has a roof, for those that can't see yet, but it has holes in, so that they start getting glimpses, so they start seeing. And once we can really see light, we're grounded in Jesus, and it doesn't matter who's there running each ecclesia, does it? So that's the equation. If you see people coming in to be converted, that means either there's a wave of the Holy Spirit which has been prayed in. Apparently there's something similar happening in Bristol right now, my friend John was saying. But the way it's made permanent is to have prepared men, 1 John 2, third level, father level people, all in one place, holding the open heavens open. And then it's continuous. It's so brilliant we have Acts Jerusalem Church, because if that wasn't there, we might think this is impossible. But it's been done. It's been done already. So that's where we're going, folks. In every locality. Church isn't second level. I'm sorry, it just isn't second level. It's third level. That's the one Jesus built.